So you know what happened 377A, right? The laws of physics applies to life. One force says let's remove 377A. An equal and opposite force says let's keep it. So in the end, right, the government did, okay, we're going to keep 377A, calm down this side. But the other side, don't get into a hissy fit, okay? Don't migrate, okay? We will not use it to actively harass you. Okay? So I started to really worry, because the thing is now I'm openly gay. But at the same time, I want to go after my dream of being a comic artist. So what to do then? What I wrote is B, D-E. Okay? And here is do, D-O. And here is have, H-A-V-E. Okay? So just remember, be, do, have. And I think this part is the part where I want to talk about making my dreams come true, right? Now, what is be, do, have? This is something that I learned at Lambert. Now, a lot of times is this: if I want to be a comic artist, I would draw, right? If I want to have a boyfriend, I would go out someplace, make myself beautiful, and go on cruise or make friends, right? So that is action, results, right? If I want to get good grades, I say, okay, you got the point, right? So most of us, we do this. We want results, we take some action. And then when the result doesn't give us what we want, we go back and then modify our action. Or maybe, oh, I'm not getting enough money, so I work harder. Then we live in this area of our life, right? But the thing is, a lot of time we forgot about this. Now, what is this B? This B is actually the context of why you're doing anything. Okay? Because in the background, if you're doing something with the wrong context, it's not going to get you your results. Okay? What does that mean? So, Japan and America, comics are better. So I'm never, as a Singaporean, going to be as good as them. Right? So I have that in the background. And I tell myself that all the time. So whenever I draw to get my comics published, I draw with that in the background. I always believe that I'm never going to be as good as a Japanese or an American. So when I draw, do you think I'm actually going to draw something that is going to be very good? I see some of the comic artists in this region, right? They have this. They're never going to be as good enough. So they draw to please the local masses, which is draw very simply, draw very fast, so that, you know, the local mass, you can get it out and then make some quick buck. Right? But I did not aim to be a regional artist, right? So this background is not going to work for me. Correct? Okay, so that's where Ellen Degeneres come in. Ellen Degeneres is an openly gay woman, right? Does anyone don't know Ellen Degeneres? When she first came out, right, it almost destroyed her career. She came out and she started playing lesbian roles on TV. So that TV show of hers sank after a while. So what did Ellen do? She go back and says, what is not working out for me? And then she realized that looking back at her context, she doesn't want to play a lesbian comedian for a gay crowd. What she really wants is to be the best comedian for everyone. Right? Is that clear enough at that point? Okay. So when she got that right, she got offered the role of a talking fish. Do you know that? A few years her career was like totally non-existent. Then Pixar, the animation company, offered her a role of a forgetful talking fish called Dory in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Okay. So she took that role and she says, I want to entertain the kids and everybody. And that her action shows, and the result is all the parents brought their kids to see the show, despite the fact it's voiced by a lesbian. It did not stop anyone from watching the show. Why? Because in the background, she never said, I want to be a lesbian comedian entertaining a gay crowd. What is in the background? What's in the background?
I want to entertain everybody.
I want to entertain everybody. So I took that example, right, and I applied it to look at Adam Lambert. Okay. Adam Lambert came out as gay, right? That's not the reason why he was invited back to American Idol as the only previous contestant to become a mentor. Right? I'm going to read from a quote from Michael Lynch. You know that big black muscle guy who sings very well? Big Mike. He says, and this is his opinion of Adam Lambert, my favorite Adam Lambert moment is hearing about his reputation from the crew and from the handlers. He is always prepared. He's a super good kid. He's just one of those people they talk the highest about. Okay? And he's one of those people they talk about out of all the seasons, and that's my favorite thing about Adam Lambert. So, when Adam Lambert became a singer, he didn't say, I want to be a gay singer singing gay songs. He said, I want to be an entertainer that's going to entertain the whole world. Okay? So, he does whatever it takes to make sure that he's the best entertainer in whichever stage that he's given. And the result is, people don't care if he is gay or not. They just know that when he goes on stage, they just want to scream. So from these two examples, right, this is how I create my comic. First of all, before I go into that, we're almost near the end of the last segment. Before I go into that, I like to state that I only state gay examples, openly gay examples, and there's a reason. Because a lot of times we are told, and my parents also told me, hey, you can just use your talent, don't make a big fuss about your sexuality. And I think I interpret that as, you can do whatever you want, don't come out. Don't say about, you're gay. Okay? And I rejected that because it doesn't work for me. Okay? And I felt that coming out is a very important part of getting to where I want to be. Because being a gay artist, right, being an artist is about showing everything to everybody as honestly as possible. So if, for example, I want to create comics and entertain the crowd, and in the background, I'm afraid that I might be outed and it might affect my career, then all my actions are going to be affected by that. And how the heck am I going to create high art that is acceptable to the whole world if in the background I can't say the same? Okay, so this video has, for me, right, when I create my comic, now I don't create it from, okay, I'm afraid I'm going to come out. What I created was this. I have been a science teacher for 8 years in the top school. Second, I jolly well know how to create a story because I write plays for 10 years. Third, I also jolly well know how to draw. So therefore, in the background when I draw my comics, right, the context is no one can do this better than me. So when I draw, this is the background. So whenever I draw, that's what I have in mind. And you know what? That's where the part where my concern about being an openly gay man really just flies out the window. Because when I have that in the background, when I go to schools, right, I say, there's no one else in this world that's going to get your kids excited about science. Okay? The only way they can get really excited is if they read my comic books. And you know what? So far, no school has turned me down. I got into every school that I approach. So when you say I quit my job, I may have lost something. Actually, I didn't. In RI, every year I have 140 students roughly. Okay, and I talk to those 140 students for 8 years. For the last 2 years, right, I have thousands of students. I go into an assembly, it's hundreds of students already. And on top of that, I'm also talking to the science teachers, the art teachers, national education teachers. So my role as an educator in science have vastly expanded. So the context is very, very important. Why are you doing what you want to do?